Roster Mania drama continuing to happen, but now it's going a little bit deeper. It's also pro players retiring, leaving the game, going to a new game, and streamers as well. A lot to dive into and discuss regarding ALGS. You'll notice I'm in a different office. It's because I'm at my work right now. Shout out to work for giving me a gaming office with a gaming computer, bought the whole setup for me so that I can still make YouTube videos while we're gone. Let's dive into the space station drama that has been going on that we need to dive into, I guess, and uncover. Don't forget the CEO did come out and say Space Station was not leaving Apex Legends. They wanted to sign the team up again, but the team wanted to go their own ways. So Space Station may be looking at another super team roster to probably put together for the upcoming year. But Koifel came out, being a part of the roster drama, if you will, to kind of express some of the emotions that were going on behind closed doors. And he said, clearing up the drama, the team environment was terrible for months. It seemed like Phony was fed up with me and Zainu way before we won. There was times I definitely could have been better of a teammate to Phony, but the same can be said to him. All I wanted was to try and make the team work and fix our issues, but I felt as if everything was way too far gone to be fixed. Even with Don helping us inside of the game and outside of the game, it still didn't feel like it was enough to bring back, I guess, the vibes or the ways that things used to be. I wish no bad on Phony and wish him the best of luck. Many people in the comments here saying kid doesn't deserve any hate that he receives. This is coming from Don, and obviously it was really unfortunate to see things unfold the way that they did, but it does seem like if you go back to Zainu's tweet, many are saying that, hey, it looks like he was throwing shade to Koifel. I don't think that was the case at all. It seemed like Zainu and Koifel were on the same page, and Phony was the outcast there and was not able to kind of, click with the boys for whatever reason. I'll let you make your own assumptions as to why. Chrono had also put out there like, hey, if Phony is not going to be on this roster anymore, who will be? And we're all probably pointing fingers at a similar person, and that could be Strafing Flame going to NA. However, there has since been more roster changes to be aware of that I think are a big one, right? Many people are talking about Complexity. Will Enemy join on Complexity? Would, Hardiki's retiring, and people going back, and then Chaotic Much leaving North America from Cloud9 to now go over to the European scene. Would he join one of these teams and cause even further roster shakeups? This was coming from Colgin, right? Thinker and Knower, head coach of Cloud9. Cloud9 are looking for one, left by the Gap. Chaotic returning to the UK. Chaotic officially stated that he was land worthy, land proven, and unfortunately, he was going back and leaving his teammates behind, onto a new record here. Now, looking for players to play for Cloud9, it seems like they will be sticking together, but there were other players to consider here on other roster changes, right? You had just recently, you had Vayne and Lux and Snip3down looking to team with one another. On paper, it looks like this is a solid team of three, but every time we tune into scrims, this is coming from someone from the Apex Reddit page, it seems like they're always like 17th, last, not making it. So will Vayne, Lux, and Snipe be a roster actually looking to make it in LCQ? We do know, according to Twitter once again, that their coach will be someone we all know and have experience with, and that is Dan. Dan was former coach of SSG, and it looked like, Dan had stepped away from SSG, and it seemed like he was a part of this super team at one point, and, maybe he also noticed the vibes shifting and things got a little disconnected there. Well, Dan is relinking back into the coaching scene with this new Snip3down, Vayne, and Lux roster. Obviously, we know all these guys. Lux is a good player. Vayne is a good player. Snipe is not only just like a good player, but I mean, this guy is old school, old Halo pro. We've seen some Apex, some success with him as well. I know very, very confidently that this team has what it takes. I don't know if they will execute it as many are a fan of, or at least hoping that they will. I do think there's a fair share of doubters on this roster, though, and for good reason. These guys have not necessarily had recent success. It's all been old school success. Hardeki is another one to consider, right? Aurora may be going through another roster change, rightfully so. Hardeki is retiring, and this kind of opens up a different can of worms. He's not only just retiring from Apex, but he's going to a new game, and this is where people start to get really worried about Apex esports, because we've already had problems with the game. Cheaters are out of hand. It doesn't feel like the game is fresh. It feels like all these issues are going around constantly, and we're not getting anywhere. The transparency is not there. What is the future of the game? He's going to Deadlock. Noko, another Apex streamer who's tried Challenger Circuit many of times, also coming out to say, 5 years ago, I took a leap of faith to quit my job at Verizon to come to Apex. Now I'm taking another leap of faith, quitting Apex as well. Moving on to Deadlock. You even had comments down here, Deadlock Intel, Sweet Dreams saying Deadlock is going to be huge. Would Sweet look at possibly retiring from Apex and going to a game like Deadlock? Many people are considering it because obviously they want something new, they want something fresh, they want something probably a little bit more stable, and I do think, look, you can hate me if you want to, I think you just can't outmatch what it is like for a team to face off against another team in a fair pre-loadout scenario, objective-based game where there's a traditional bracket involved. The Battle Royale esports scene, don't get me wrong, match point format is great. The bracket format they have is definitely the best of, the Battle Royale scene, but I do think that we are probably going back in the direction. This is probably why they're bringing arenas back as well. I think we need to see more of the traditional style, the pre-loadout stuff. This is why I like the changes that Apex are trying to make, especially with the loadout stuff where they're trying to get rid of loot spawns for weapons and attachments and make pre-loadout weapons. And I know it's not Battle Royale. That is so anti-Battle Royale. But when it comes to esports health, I think that they are trying to make the right decision, regulate the game a little bit more as an esport, and maybe down the line, that's going to be the most healthy for the esports scene. And, disagree with me if you want to, but esports is the absolute backbone of Apex Legends right now. But there are more roster changes to consider here. Voltic for KCP. We've also got some confirmation on them. Voltic, the coach, will be parting ways, unfortunately. Gent coming out saying, wish you nothing but the best, unfortunately. And then also their manager coming out to say, just to get rid of any confusion, Deeds, Gent, and Anmu are sticking together. No roster changes there for KCP besides the coach. FaZe, on the other hand, trialing out some new teams. JMW with Blacklist International was dropped recently and now playing with FaZe Clan. That's Cinetic and Nags. Obviously, Arctic has been replaced or looking to be replaced, and he's also been on the grind looking for a team as well. So interested to see how that one plays out. I still would like to see a little bit less of roster changes as far as like teams trying to stick it out for one another. I do think that it makes for good content, but I don't think that that's like the healthiest move. There's no relationships, I guess, outside of the game anymore, and I feel like we're missing some of that. Now, when it comes to some in-game stuff, obviously Apex has been going through the ringer lately. We do have a $25,000 Apex Legends Code Freedom Nightlife tournament coming with Boom TV. They also just hired back some playtesters that they're looking to get rid of after they got rid of their quality assurance team. Big drop and big fail from them. So they're trying to, sounds like they're listening to their community or do the right thing again. Is it too little too late? Obviously, time will tell. And then also ranked rumbles. This was supposed to be the team-oriented leaderboard, tournament-style system thing, whatever. I still think we need cash cups like Fortnite had. I think we need in-game tournament systems like Hal had mentioned. And I honestly wish... I can say this on this channel. I can't say it on my main channel. I'll get absolutely, persecuted for it. I think that you guys being an esports-based community, that many of the pro players themselves, I think if we let them have control over a lot of this stuff, we would have a much better game than what the casual community seems to think. However, there's probably some of you casual players here that are still watching and completely disagree and are about to dislike the video, and that is what it is. But I do think esports is the biggest backbone of this game right now, and we desperately need some better changes to be made very, very soon. Interested to see what your thoughts are down in the comment section below about all the roster changes and the future of the game as well. Looking forward to Champs coming up in a couple of months, many months actually. We've got a while to go, more roster changes to happen, but LCQ also around the corner that we'll be able to talk about soon. Let us know your thoughts down below, and until the next time, we'll see you all later, Gators.